So seeing as how we've had a plethora of new trailers being released, not only in the last day, but the last couple of days, I figured why do separate videos when I could just do one long video quickly covering all these trailers here. I've got 5 I want to take a look at here, so without further ado, let's go ahead and dig into some of these trailers that have come out over the last couple of days. Ella McCay. This one is about an idealistic young politician played by Emma McCay who juggles familiar issues and challenging work lives while preparing to take over the job of her mentor, the state's longtime incumbent governor. You have a cast that also includes Jamie Lee Curtis, Kamal Nanjiani, Io Edeberry, Albert Brooks, Rebecca Hall, Julie Kavner. It's great to see her on the big screen again, and Woody Harrelson, who I really thought was one of the funniest things about this trailer. I mean, she's trying to calm down the situation between her and between her and her mother, who is played by Rebecca Hall, and while her aunt is there, Jamie Lee Curtis, and he just makes it worse and worse and worse, and that's really kind of funny stuff. It's funny because this is James L. Brooks, and this is the first James L. Brooks movie he's done as a director since How Do You Know, which ended up being a major flop 15 years ago. But this definitely looks like a much better movie than that. I like the chemistry between all the actors in here. It's great to see these actors once again on the big screen. Albert Brooks, like I said, Julie Kavner, Woody Harrelson. This movie could be a ton of fun. It could be a nice return to form for James L. Brooks. Like I said, it's been a long time since we've seen a really good movie from him. And hopefully this will be the film that brings it back on track and makes us forget about How Do You Know, which was not a great film at all. But I'm looking forward to this. It comes out on December 12th, and yeah, that's Ella McCay. Highest to lowest. We finally get our first look at Spike Lee's latest film starring Denzel Washington, which is his 5th collaboration with him. This is based off of Akira Kurosawa's High and Low, and it follows a Titan music mogul played by Washington, widely known as having the best ears in the business, who's targeted with a ransom plot. He's jammed up in a life-or-death moral dilemma. Brothers Denzel Washington and Spike Lee reunite for the 5th in a long working relationship for a reinterpretation of the great filmmaker Akira Kurosawa's crime thriller High and Low, now played out in the mean streets of modern-day New York City. And this has actually been out for a while. The reviews have been out for a long time, been getting very solid reviews. Buzz building once again for Denzel Washington. Maybe this will be the time he finally gets that long overdue 3rd Academy Award. At least I would think he would. At least I wanted to get that. But he also got a cast that includes Jeffrey Wright, Ilfrich Hadira. You have rappers A$AP Rocky. You have Ice Spice, Dean Winters, John Douglas Thompson, LaChance, Wendell Pierce. So a strong cast in here. Rosie Perez is in the movie, and also Anthony Ramos from In the Heights. I'm really excited to see this one. I mean, I like Spike Lee's movies. I really am a fan of Denzel Washington. I think I don't need to say that I consider him to be the greatest actor we have right now. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to checking this one out. It comes out in theaters on August 15th, and then it'll be available to stream on Apple TV Plus on September the 5th. Shelby Oaks. This is Chris Stuckman's big feature film debut after many years as a YouTube film reviewer, and it's produced by Neon, the company that gave us Long Legs, and just recently this weekend gave us Together. In this movie, it takes place in the 2000s, where you have a YouTube host. She hosts a channel with friends called the Paranormal Paranoids, and it focuses on the group filming at various haunted locations. And during their latest shoot at this abandoned town of Shelby Oaks, Riley's 3 friends were found murdered, leaving behind a tape that suggests Riley was taken and/or also killed by an unidentifiable man. Mia, her sister, believes she's still alive, but she searches for her for 12 years. When she finally discovers a second tape containing contents that convince Mia something sinister is involved with Riley's vanishing. And kind of like with Highest to Lowest, the film has already been out, and that's getting a lot of positive reviews online. It actually premiered last year, and it was eventually picked up by Neon to come out originally on August, but they decided to add more scenes, so now we're not getting it until October. And the trailer does a pretty good job of getting you invested into the movie. It's an interesting, intriguing mystery film that they've got going on here, with a lot of horror elements in here. They're not really spoiling a whole lot of the big shocking scares in here, which I really like. And there's a lot of good word of mouth about it. So even somebody like me who's not really a big horror person, I'm really looking forward to seeing this. Not just because it's Chris Stuckman getting a chance to show what he could do as a filmmaker, but it looks like a really cool, stylistic-looking horror movie. I can't wait to see it when it comes out on October the 3rd. Rental Family. This is the latest film from Brendan Fraser, his first leading role since his Academy Award-winning Turn in the Whale. And it has a premise that sounds like, in a title that sounds like a comedy. Like it sounds like a sequel to Daddy's Home or Instant Family that Will Ferrell or Mark Wahlberg would be in. But It's not that at all. It's a lonely American actor, played by Fraser, living in Tokyo, starting to work with a Japanese rental family company to play stand-in roles for other people's lives. Along the way, he finds surprising connections and unexpected joys within his built-in family. So it sounds like a little bit of a mix between something like maybe an Instant Family meets Lost in Translation, and I really like Lost in Translation, and I kind of enjoyed Instant Family, and this feels like a film that feels right at home for Brendan Fraser, coming off of the success that he had with The Whale, and showing that the guy still has a lot of acting chops here, and it's really good to see him in movies again. This looks like it could be a really fun film. I like the connections that we see early on in the trailer. I don't know too much about the filmmakers behind this, so I don't really know if their stuff is any good or not, but I know that the director of this did episodes of Beef, which I've actually never seen the show before, so I'll take the word for it. But yeah, overall, looks like a pretty good movie. Can't wait to see when it comes out on November 21st. And then last but not least, we have J. Kelly, which has a poster that really looks like something that was quickly made on Photoshop. And the trailer is odd, to say the least. It stars George Clooney, who has a friendship between him and his manager, played by Adam Sandler, as they travel through Europe and reflect on their life choices, relationships, and legacy. And a stacked cast. It also includes Laura Dern, Billy Crudup, Stacey Keach, Riley Keough, Jim Broadbent, Greta Gerwig, Emily Mortimer, Patrick Wilson, Isla Fisher. This is directed by Noah Baumbach, who gave us Barbie, so it makes sense that Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach will work together again. And the trailer is just as odd as the poster is, but in a way, I feel like this is a movie that's going to be like a parallel to a reflection of George Clooney's career. I mean, people forget that when George Clooney got started, he was often considered to be the Cary Grant of a new generation, and he even says in the trailer that one line, Cary Grant, like he's saying his name. It's just like J. Kelly, and it's just like, and at one point he's just like Cary Grant. It's just like, yeah, it makes sense in this situation here. And I mean, Noah Baumbach doesn't usually do bad as a filmmaker as a whole. He's made a lot of really good stuff. He did, of course, gave us Kicking and Screaming, The Squid and the Whale, Margot the Wedding, Greenberg, Frances Ha, Marriage Story. I mean, the guy knows what he's doing when it comes to filmmaking, and he very rarely makes a really bad movie. So this one definitely does not feel like it's going to be a bad movie. It feels odd, the marketing for this film as a whole, but still looks pretty good. It still looks impressive. Plus, it's good to see Adam Sandler going back to more dramatic roles again. I just saw him in Happy Gilmore 2, where I didn't think he really used up all of his potential, but every time he goes back to the dramatic well, he usually does very well with it. And getting a chance to work alongside people like George Clooney and Laura Dern, I mean, the possibilities are there for him to finally break that mold and get that long overdue Oscar nomination here. But hopefully the movie turns out to be good. It comes out in select theaters on November 14th, and it comes out on Netflix on December the 5th. So there you go. Quick sum up of some of the big trailers that we've gotten over the last day or two. If you've seen any of them, of course, let me know your thoughts down below. What did you think?